Welcome back to Influencer Boxing Talk number 9. This is going to be my review and thoughts on the Prime card. Got a lot to get into. Just start off with the prelim fights. I want to go from top to bottom. It's a lot of things I want to talk about. So first we had XX versus DTG. Didn't know who was going to win. I just chose SX as the favorite because I didn't know the other guy. But from how the fight went, DTG had the more experience. He's been fighting for, I believe, a year because he was going to be on, I think, Misfits 002 or 3. But he pulled out because his opponent had too much experience and weight on him. So his coaches advised him to leave. Pull out the fight. So that's the story of that guy. But he came back, got a definitive win. Looked like he been training hard, looked real accurate. Yeah, congrats to him, DTG. Then we had that female fight. And, the thing about that fight is it was real disappointing because, like I said in my last Influencer Boxing Talk, I was going to set a standard for this fight because Alexia's the champ, man. Not Alexia. Astra's the champ. So she got to perform the best out of any of the other women in the division or anything close to it. So, and I said the standard that I set was the first fight between, what's the girl's name? Tennessee Trish and Tennessee Trish. I can't think of her name. Yeah, basically the fight with Tennessee Trish and the other girl. I forgot her name. But anyways, Astrid looked terrible. 7 months break, she looked terrible. It doesn't look like she's improving at all. Maybe her cardio, maybe, but it doesn't look like she takes boxing seriously. It's either that or she's very untalented athletically, and she's a very slow learner. She's been complaining on Twitter before the Prime card about not having a fight. I think partly due to that being women just don't like boxing in general, so they're not likely to fight in front of thousands of people. It's a big thing to ask. But luckily, Alexia stepped up to the plate. She's been training for a little bit, and she even looked good in there for the amount of training she had. But it still didn't live up to my expectations. I wanted to be a shutout from Astrid, but she just didn't show that. And the decision was very controversial. From rounds 2 and 3, Alexia gave Astrid like the hammers, man. She gave her hammers, And I think just a terrible fight. It's a terrible fight for Astrid. Where do you go from there? If your performance was that bad, 7 months since your last fight, doesn't look like you improved. And we saw how the man improved in 7 months. Phase temper. Saw how you come back. So I'd love to see a fight I just love to see a new champ. That's all I have to say. I love to see a new champ. I was looking at the women's weight, and the only two girls I think that can make the weight is probably the Tennessee girls and Paige Keiki. They fight around 120. Astra's like 112. It's like a 7-pound difference. I don't know if they can do a catch weight or they can come down or Astra can go up. But I'd love to see that fight happen because I just want a new champion, man. I like the idea of a champion being not actually good in boxing. I want to have at least somewhat decent in boxing. So yeah, man. I think it should have been a draw, honestly, but they gave it to Astrid because Alexia definitely had more output in rounds 2 and 3. I'd make it a draw. It's a lot of controversial decisions on the Prime card. Next, we had the heavyweight bout. In this fight, a lot of people thought Chase won. Me looking back at it, we watching the fights for free on YouTube. I think Tempo, he was definitely the more boxer in this fight. Like I said, Chase just still been stiff, man. But those punches, he's getting a little more fluid fight by fight, so he's getting better at it. But he does tend to gas. It's heavyweight division, but Chase does tend to gas. If only he can have a better gas tank, he would have made it clear. He would have made it so clear. He did a lot of flurries against Tempo Arts. Tempo mainly just wanted to stay boxing, throw a lot of overhand rights. But I say it's a draw, really. It's a lot of draws on this card. I say it's a draw, or you can slightly give it to Tempo maybe. But That's how I saw that fight. And I'm kind of worried about Chase tempo, because man, this fight compared to what Arms did to Master Uguay, I feel like he was just really filling them out. Master Uguay, I mean not Master Uguay. Arms was filling Master Uguay out in his fight, and then he just went for the kill. So seeing these guys fight at their full potential, it's got me worried, bro. Whoever goes against Arms, I hope Mini comes, because he got to be the best out of all of them. He got to be the ones to beat Arms. I don't see anyone else doing it, because these guys, feel like they're just a couple levels behind Arms. Even though he's big, we got to see Arms tank. We got to see Arms cardio. That's going to be the deciding factor if any of these guys decide to fight Arms. So, man, the heavyweight division, it's getting closer to being a solid fight, because so far it's not been a lot of good fights in the heavyweight division. But yeah, that was a controversial decision. But Temple Arts, I mean, everyone's appealing to their decisions in this card. Temple Arts, he felt like he did enough to deserve the win. He definitely worked hard. Just was against a really big guy too. He struggled to find their overhand right. But yeah, I think that's all my comments on that fight. Then we had the quickest fight of the night, Swarms and Ed Matthews. I said in my last video that it was rumored that Ed Matthews was going to fight Swarms. I didn't think Swarms was going to actually accept the fight. I thought it was going to be a bad decision. I know you've been training Swarms. I know you've been active. I know you got confidence. But man, I think that's just a level above in terms of, because what does Ed Matthews have that any of Swarm's opponents already have? You could say, well, Swarm fought KSI. He was levels and levels above him. But you want to start winning Swarms. You want to start making deals with winnable opponents. Because the chance, I just wanted to see a good fight. I didn't see Swarms winning the fight. And yeah, it showed like in the first 10 seconds, got caught. Just how he fell, man, I knew it was over. I was like, and then, of course, the thing found out about his ankle being broken or being sprung. He got injured. But, man, it was real bad to see. It's real bad for Swarms because, I really want to see this Ryan Taylor fight. And, man, I feel bad for Swarms because I know he's been itching to get another win, especially after that controversial. Well, it's not controversial decision. The Survivor tag was. It wasn't controversial, but he been wanting to get that recognition, that solid win. And he was almost there with the Ryan Taylor. I saw that as a very winnable fight. It's going to be tough, though. But, man, hopefully he gets back in the ring. Ed Matthews came in, man, 2-3 days notice with a broken toe, got the job done, came out fast, twitchy, strong. Like I said, I knew he was a strong guy. He knocked him out with just one clean punch. So, yeah, that's just a testament to Ed Matthews' strength. I know it's questionable to a lot of people. They probably think he's on something, but we got to trust. You got to trust the misfits in their VADA testing. They caught virus, so I don't think anyone's going to be brave enough to do it. Even so, if they do, they're going to get caught. So that's what I think about that fight. Then we had the tag team match on to the main card. Man, Nick Lamau, Alex Wasabi. And you know what? I did underestimate B-Dave a little bit. I tried to give him credit in my last video. I did say it. Let me not underestimate B-Dave. He came with smoke, man. He came with the smoke in this fight. Knocked down Alex, even though the first knockdown was kind of weird. He kind of like pushed him and flipped him weird. It just wasn't a real knockdown. The second one was that was more of a real knockdown. But Wasabi, man, came with the smoke. I love the energy he came, man. He was talking to Pineda once he knocked him down. Looked real good. Real good boxer, man. Real good boxer from Wasabi. And it just makes me think Creator Clash was earlier this year. I don't think Alex Wasabi improved that much from Creator Clash to this fight. I think I know it's going to sound crazy, but I think he actually held back in the fight with I-Dubs. Because there's no way. There's just no way. I'm looking at this fight. I watching. I was like, where did this Wasabi come from? He wasn't there in the I-Dubs fight. It wasn't that long ago. It would have made sense if it was from the Deji fight to the I-Dubs fight when he fought like this, the way he fought in this fight. but it just isn't true. So I think he really had a soft spot for IDubbbz, and he didn't go all the way because he did Pineda bad. He had him on the ground. I mean, not a lot of people knocked out Pineda or knocked him down. So now we know what happens in the tag team match. I said before in my last video that in the last Influencer Boxing Talk that you have to get knocked down, but that's only in Survivor Tag. Now I'm kind of more up to date on that. Gotta knock down your tag team partner, the other tag team partners, in order to win. So the fight was a draw. Nick Lamau, I don't know what was going on. It seems like he was having some things that stop him from training or some type of stressor in his life build up to this fight, training for this fight, because he was real emotional and basically explaining that he couldn't do his all. He couldn't fight how he wanted to fight tonight because the things that happened prior to the fight. So I still don't know what it is. I have to look it up today, see if he posted a video. But look them out. Man, yeah, I just want to see one-on-one fights from these two. Since it's a draw, I think it'll be a perfectly set up fight to have Pineda against Nick Lamau, one-on-one. Pineda against Alex Wasabi, B-Dave against Nick Lamau. I think a draw was fair. I don't think it was crazy, like, controversial. So on to the next fight. We got Nunes versus Mane. And, man, it's real frustrating watching a fighter like Nunes. He has good head movement just when he's not close enough to his opponent. But once he gets into range, man, he just get popped, man. He just get jabbed. He eat jabs. Oh, he eat jabs like it's breakfast, man. You don't do that, Nunes. It's not you win fights, man. You gotta have, if you're gonna use head movement, at least use it in a close range too. Try to roll with punches, try to counter punch. But man, I think I went with Mane Nate because he was the more lengthier fighter. He had a lot of reach, which he used in his fight. I predicted well. Can't say that for other fights, but Mane Nate did what he's supposed to do. Jabbed him. Stay real disciplined to this game plan. Looked like he worked hard after the Kenny loss. You could say the same for Nunes, but I think the range was just too much from him, just too early in his career. But he did put up a good fight. Didn't go down easy. Didn't take a knee because he was getting hit with that jab a lot. Boxing's no easy sport. Big win from Mane Nate. I wanted to see who would Mane Nate fight next. And I was thinking it could be Alex Wasabi. I feel like that's a fair fight. That's a good fight next for him. He don't need someone too big. He don't need someone with a lot of power. I feel like this is his weakness right now, his chin. So that'll be a good fight. But Nunes, everyone's speculating. It's not really concrete. I think Mam said it, like they're kind of hinting at it, that Nunes is going to fight Deji. I'm just not a fan of that fight. I think there's better fights out there for Deji. I think it's purely there for just growing misfits. Having a pay-per-view star who can kind of match Nunes. And Deji is the next best thing besides KSI, I'm assuming. So I would love Deji to fight someone different. I would love Nunes to fight someone different, but who would I have Nunes fight for the Brazil card? That's what's in speculation. Early 2024. Nunes, I think he should fight. It has to be like someone who's not rangy, someone who doesn't have a good jab, someone who's just a brawler. That sounds like anyone on the card. I know this is a big stretch and they're not nearly as popular as each other, but I think a good fight between maybe Nick Lamau and Nunes. Tell me what you think about that fight. I think it'll be because they're both very defensive. It's gonna be a chess match, but not as a chess match as in this fight we had with Nate. I think it'll be a good matchup. I think it'll be a solid matchup. So yeah, that's what I think those two should go. Then next we have King Kenny, Anthony Taylor, man. I wanted this to be the fight where the influencer beats the pro MMA guy or whatever you want to call AT. But man, he had all the tools, he had all the research, he had all the history on AT. He just couldn't get the job done on the night. And what I think about it is, what made me believe in Kenny in this fight on getting the job done and winning. I already knew AT had a tendency to stick to the game plan, stay disciplined in the fight, do what he need to do to win, and not find many ways to slip up and come up short. So I knew he was going to do what he was going to do. A lot of people disagreed with the way AT fight, but as a fighter, you have to be smart. You have to be smart in accepting these fights, because if you know you can get the job done, sign the contract. You shouldn't sign the contract if you don't think you could get it done. That's why I put all the blame on Kenny. I don't put it on AT for fighting the way he fought. A lot of people, they was giving AT hate for beating up these influencers, but Kenny had everything. He had everything. I think, I believe him when he says, I train for fighters who come forward like AT. I've done that. Plus, he has the whole Salt Puppy fight to look at. So he has a lot of footage on AT. He know how he's going to fight. He know how he's going to come in there. But the aloofness, I don't know what Kenny has when he just saw AT running at him. Like, this was exactly what you should expect and plan for. So coming into the fight, we just real frustrated with AT. Didn't have any sort of solutions. I mean, in the first round, in the last bit, it's so frustrating watching Kenny, isn't it? He always does things for a split moment, which you want him to do for the whole fight. And at the end of the first round, he hit him with like a stiff jab to keep him at distance. I'm like, that's it, Kenny. You do stuff like that. Use your footwork. Use your athleticism. Get around him. Cut the angles. Man, he had all the tools. I don't see what was the plan. I think he tried to work in the clinch, which I don't know why you even want to do that. You have long arms. You have the longest arms in your division. And man, it was just real sad sight to see, because Kenny don't even feel like he lost, but he did. He wasn't beaten up. He come out with dents on his face, bruises. So it was very frustrating for him. And I think when Daly is yelling at him, man, I think that kind of freezes. I think Kenny just gets scared, man. I think he gets just locked in his zone where nothing can get through to him. Because when Daly gets to yelling, he sounds like a disappointed father. So I don't know if that's a part of the way Kenny acts when he's in the ring. And hears Daly yelling instructions to him. But man, it's just a sad fight to see, man. Because you wanted Kenny to win as the influencer. Because everyone wants to see AT not be the influencer again. So I don't know what's next for AT. I mean, you can try to get him. What's the new guy's name who was on the last card? I think it was Anderson Silva's son. You can maybe feed him, give that to AT. Give that guy to AT on a Brazil card, maybe coming up in February. King Kenny, try to right your wrongs. I think go back to your losses. Try to get the Ashley Rexu fight, the FaZe Temper fight. I don't know how that's going to happen, because FaZe Temper is a big boy. I don't think he's coming back down to 175. But try to right your wrongs. I think that's a fair thing to do at this point in his career. But real sad sight to see. Really disappointing. Man, Kenny, man. I really want him to win. I just don't think. Okay. It would have been very close, but the movements that King Kenny was making in the fight, it makes me think, in order to be AT, you have to be very disciplined in your game plan. That's one thing. But I think there's a level of athleticism, quickness, snappiness on your punches, great timing, especially when he's running in like that. There was points in the fight where he was running in and King Kenny just looked at him, didn't move his feet, didn't move his head, didn't move his arms, didn't try to frame, didn't try to change footwork, didn't try to circle out, didn't try to do nothing. And I think Kenny had the tools, but even if then, I'm trying to imagine a winnable fight, making this a winnable fight by throwing in a hypothetical. if Kenny would have did certain things. I think even then it would have been a close fight because Kenny doesn't have athleticism. He doesn't have those quick time punches. It's kind of like he's very good at everything. He's not great at one particular thing. Like Saw Pop, he's very quick on the counters. When he was at 185, it's kind of slowed down now. So he's at 165, but it's another conversation. But he's not very quick like that. So I think that was a tough fight. Looking at the aspect of King Kenny, seeing him fight AT, I do think that they probably played a role into his loss. But on to the next fight. That chapter finally closes. Dean the Great versus Waleed Sharks. And I think I expected more from I expected more from Waleed. I thought it was going to be more in defense. I thought it was going to be just like the first fight, but just kind of like how Dean was. Just exactly how I thought he would be. More powerful, quicker, good combination punches, more ring IQ. It just looked like Waleed was just out of his element, man. Their first punch, I think, it just slowed him down. He would just rock the whole fight. That's exactly what it seemed like. It seemed like a hurt fighter for the full 4 rounds. And he actually caught Dean in the first bit of the fight. So Dean was very vulnerable. I don't know what happened to Waleed. It was very weird to see it. It didn't look like he even had a game plan in there, you know. I have to watch the fight again. It was so good. I actually want to watch it again today because it just makes me question, because I don't remember Waleed using a jab like that. But shout out to Dean, man. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He trained very hard. You can see it in the fight. He's fighting with a left hand, his right hand, going southpaw, switching, being injured mid-fight, he's still getting it done, while Waleed's over here just hurt the whole fight, fighting with his heart, man. Fighting with his dignity, didn't back down. Got clocked at hard times, man. I got the mouthpiece knocked out his mouth. Kept coming, man. Feel bad for Waleed, man, because of course, man, he wanted to win for his sister, man. You want to see the story ended the other way, but this is how it goes, man. I mean, Dean's been through a lot too, so I bet he was fighting the demons in there, fighting his issues. So I don't think there should be a third fight. I think there's no need to. They both should part ways. But Dean's really shooting for the stars now. I don't like it from him, man. If Waleed can rock you, man, I think Ryan Cassie can knock you out. I think Javante Davis can knock you out. So I don't think they're smart, man. I don't think they're smart. And Waleed, the punch he hit him with, it wasn't even that strong. It wasn't even that strong of a punch. So I guess the actual pros, don't be calling out the pros. Not yet, man. After this, finish cleaning up the influencers. You got just about one more guy you haven't touched, which is, of course, you see the channel banner, who's all the way to the right. It's going to be my man, Adam Saleh, or however you say it. And I think it'll be a great fight. I think Adam should have an entry-level fight if he's going to fight on Misfits, because he does tend to outprice himself. I don't know if he's done that in this case, but, man, that's what we've been waiting on. Been waiting on this chapter to end. Adam to come in and fight one of these guys. Hopefully do maybe a match with Waleed. Maybe have what's the other guy's name in the lightweight division? Not APAP, the Yeti gang. He's a pretty clean looking boxer. That'd be a cool first warm up fight. Maybe go on to Waleed and then Dean, or just jump straight to Dean right after the Yeti or Waleed Sharks fight. Which it'll be a good storyline fight if it was Adam and Waleed, because, you know, they had a draw back in, whoever knows, like 2019. So, and then I just love to see that fight, man. Dean versus Adam. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be exactly what Waleed was supposed to do in this fight, but wasn't able to. I think Adam's going to show up. He's more disciplined. He's been training. His fight with Evil Hero, he's shown that he can stay focused and stay active in the gym, because how sharp and how just clean his movements were in the ring, and in that fight with Evil Hero. and I think that'll be a great fight. I mean, they're both good at boxing. One of the best looking boxers in our space. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see what's next for Dean. I hope he don't just goes for pros. I don't know. I don't know why would you do that. I mean, there's still money to make in this scene. I say clean up the division, go to pro boxing if that's your dream. But that's what shows you what hard work should do. It's purely hard work, new good coaches. Malik Scott, he's in a new gym. And Waleed, I don't know what to say, man. I gotta watch the documentary. I think he posted it a couple of days ago. So that's what I think about that fight. On to Slim Poppy. Slim and the Salt Poppy fight. You know what? It was just real surprising. It's not that I don't like Slim. I like Salt Poppy more than Slim. I'm not much of a fan of Salt Poppy, but I'm just like him more than Slim. Not that I don't respect Slim. I actually didn't respect him a while ago, but seeing how he handled himself business-wise in terms of the Showstar event, him doing the research, it showed me that he wasn't so quick to just get on any event. He was a part of Social Knockout, the dirty side of YouTube boxing, because, I didn't respect that, the fake fights or whatever. But on to Misfits, man. He's changing the narrative, breaking past, man, breaking past curses that people put on him or doubts or Slim, you gonna get knocked out. I didn't think he would get knocked out, but man, I did not think he would gonna win like that. I predicted in my last video that Slim was gonna win by activity. I thought Salt Poppy was gonna gameplay was the counterpunch as usual, but try to get Slim on the ropes and do him punch on him like Deji did Swarms. He kind of controlled the hand, make sure the right hand isn't coming, and then just do a little quick speed combo on the ropes, and then get up out of there. Then you back to the countering in the middle of the ring. But I mean, Salt Poppy took his chances, man. He took his chances, but he funny enough, he got knocked out while fighting him on the ropes. And I didn't think, I was like, when I'm literally watching it, I was like, not like that, Salt. That's not what I meant. Like, you got to be quick. You can't just sit there, man. He's going to be ready. It's Slim's been disciplined too. He had a new coach, a Hall of Fame coach, a really good coach. And Salt Poppy's with the same coach. Dropped a ton of weight. A lot of people attribute the knockout to his sudden weight loss and how much he lost it and how quickly he lost his weight for this fight. It's just at 185, went down to 165, and it fixed the chin of a fighter, which I don't want to discredit Slim's win, even though I don't like him as much as Salt Poppy, the Salt Poppy character. I don't think you should discredit Slim. I mean, he's been working hard. This shows his knockout power, because I did not think he would win in that fashion. I thought it was going to be on activity through 5 rounds, split decision, maybe unanimous. But, man, shout out to Slim. Did him dirty, bro. Did him dirty in the ring, man. I'm talking like had his head going backwards, man. I don't think Slim's that's his best performance to date, for sure. That's his best performance to date. Salt Poppy, I don't know where you go from here. Maybe fight Kenny if he's down to fight. If Kenny doesn't want to right his wrongs, fight Kenny. Fight another guy. You gotta get used to his weight too. That's another thing. The actual him performing at the weight, not his chin or anything. Even though they'll come with that over time, but he's actually, because he looked kind of slow, like I mentioned with talking about the other fight, the Nunes and Nate fight. It was kind of so probably was slower in this fight. It seems like it was weird to say. I think when fighters go down in weight, their muscles, they kind of lose muscle as well, because the way his punches were, they were smooth. Like Salt Poppy, Salt Poppy, smooth, fluid, looks good in the ring. It just seems to me it wasn't that quickness. This just wasn't that that blinking of an eye shot. You blink your eye, then the guy's on the ground. And yeah, Slim, I mean, sky's the limit for him. I mean, I think he's ready for the big dogs. I don't think he'll win that fight, but man, it's only makes it right. Sometimes 2024 got the big boy giver, the 7-figure giver versus Slim. I think he's ready for a fight like that. Taking out Salt Poppy, having someone who can counter him, who's very more, who's definitely more fluid than him. Have a little bit more ring IQ, but not really. The way he got knocked out, there wasn't really a high IQ. But in the first 2 rounds, it was definitely there. He was definitely a tough challenge. I think he's ready, man. I think with the coach he has now, the training camp he's going to have, continue to improve and learn new things about boxing, I think he's ready for that fight. And I think they agreed to it, too, for a fight in 2024. So be the first one to say it, man. It's going down. I don't know if they're going to do it in Saudi Arabia, but that's definitely the fight to make. I don't see anyone else going through Slim. I mean, King Kenny, I don't think he want those problems right now. Who else is out there genuinely for Slim? You could say Blueface. A lot of people want to fight Blueface, and who else? I want to say Deji. I think they're just two different weight. No. They are two different heights. They're gonna look like AT versus King Kenny. Maybe Deji can fight him if he's down to do that. So probably, like I said, King Kenny or maybe a Nick Lamau. Nick Lamau or Nick Lamau or OJ Rose. That'd be a cool fight. Someone that's, just solid. You know what I'm saying? Got some solid wins under their belt. Yeah, that'd be a cool fight. I think that's a good challenge for Salt Poppy. All right, on to the main events. Big controversial fights. Now, Dylan Dennis. You know what? I thought he was going to be a lot slower in the fight. The little punches he did throw, they were kind of... I'm not going to say kind of. They were slow, but some punches was just uncannily... it was real weird to see him how fast he punched. Because I think he just does a lot of trolling online when he's hitting the pads and leak videos, because he always swings slow. But for some reason on Fight Night, he did throw a fast little hook and caught Logan. So that's all you can really comment in about the fight. I mean, Logan, it looks more put together, and not by that much though. Looks more put together than the fight in Floyd Mayweather. Had a solid 1-2. A lot of people don't like the way he swings his technique per se, but he did look a little tighter for me. Yeah, his punches were tighter. I just wish Dylan would have exchanged more. He was so in it to just troll. I think that was his whole point of being there, just to survive. And Logan did a little bit less than what I would like, just a little bit. I mean, he did flurry him. I wish there was another flurry at the end of the fight, try to get him out of there. Because what are you gonna do if a guy's constantly blocking? I mean, what else are you gonna do? You just gonna waste your energy, get him out of there to 6 rounds? I don't think they'll be very smart, because you never know what Dylan was gonna do. Maybe he was banking on the fact that Logan was gonna flurry and then get tired, and then Dylan just jumps on him last second. I think it would have been smarter for Logan to do it the whole second round, whatever round it was. Play it cool. Okay, 3, 4, 5. It's an entertaining fight. Not very entertaining. Not much action going on. But at least at the last round, just go out guns and blazing. You know. I saw that after the fight, Logan said he didn't want to go into this fight with emotion. But that last round, man. I mean, you going back to the stool, man. You got to put it all out there. You know. You got kind of wild at the end with the whole getting on the ground situation, trying to put him in a guillotine. But man, Logan should have did more. You know. Where does Dylan Dennis go? No one cares when he goes after this. I think it's over for him professionally. It's just embarrassing to see all these months of torment towards Logan just flop, man. Just so anticlimactic, you know. And Logan could do a little bit more, especially in the last round, probably last 2 rounds. He could do a little bit more, but he was there trying something. But Dylan would just give him nothing, you know. And doing this weird jab, whatever that jab was, get that out of here, man. Um, I mean, Dylan made it to the fight. That's what you get when Dylan makes it to the fight. I think, I think actually people would enjoy the fight more if Mike Perry took his position. But we didn't know how Dylan was gonna fight. So that's all my thoughts on that fight. What else can you say? I mean, Logan Paul should. He said he does boxing for entertainment. I would love for him to fight Le'Veon Bell. I mean, if you could scroll through my Twitter replies or the comments I put, I love the fact every time Logan accepts a fight, Le'Veon Bell's like, I'm right here. You know, I'm ready down to fight you, fight a real fighter who's going to fight when they get in the boxing ring, who has a little bit of skills to challenge yours. I love that fight. It just, I don't think Logan's going to take it. I don't think he's going to take it right now. I think he knows it's a risk. But it's a good fight regardless. That's all my thoughts on that fight. I think for the build up to be that, throwing Mike in his face and then decided to not throw not one significant power punch, like, come on, man. You got your eyes blacked out. You didn't do nothing to Logan. You hurt him more with the mic than you did in the actual fight. So there's nothing to brag on. I think we can move on from that. Then, of course, the main event. We have finally, it's going to get a long video. Hopefully it isn't over 40 minutes long. KSI versus Tommy Fury. Watching the fight, I was disappointed in Tommy Fury. I mean, I expect him to do a lot more than what he did. You know, he fought like a boxer would, controlling his opponent in the clinch and getting hits in there while he was in the clinch. I think KSI, his whole reaction to losing, I think that was very understandable. I don't think he should get clowned online. I mean, the man worked hard. And I think maybe KSI, he definitely thought he was a more capable fighter in the ring. And I think he showed on the night with the little things he did try to do, like the slip uppercut or the ankle change, or he didn't really do very much. He really get to show it. I think that was more of his frustration going out, and then turn out how he think it would. So I thought it was Tommy watching the fight. I thought it was Tommy win. Thought it was close. I predicted a draw or a split decision. Turned out I was right. It didn't look nothing like I thought it would look like, but that's just how he is when you have a fight. You just never know. When this guys never would cross paths. Didn't think Tommy would fight KSI, but